Okay, so hopefully you've read this example about children enrolled, the percentage of children enrolled in primary school in two parts of Africa. They want to compare the two parts of the same continent to see education levels and things like that. So they've got these percentages, and what I did was highlighted what looked like the lowest in each one. So the lowest, and so that's the lowest, and this would be the highest. This looks like the lowest here, and this looks like the highest here. And it gives me an idea what the flow is between the numbers. The other thing is here, what I want to do is compare them. So I'm going to put them sort of back to back. I'm going to have some kind of central stem, and I'm going to have data going this way. And on the other side, I'm going to have data going the other way, and I can kind of compare them back to back. And because they're using, and then this part here is the same scale. And I really have numbers going from the 30s up to the high 90s. And so if you took them together, 19 and 23, that's 42, right? So what is the square root of 42? Just to get an idea of how many bins I might need. Well, the square root of 49 is 7, and it's 7 away from it. The square root of 36 is 6. So anywhere from 6 to 7 stems. I keep calling them bins, but that's for histograms. I need 6 to 7 stems. Okay? And so that's going to work. And I'm going to start in the 30s, and then I'm going to go to the 40s and 50s, 60s, 70s, so I can plot it there. So I'm going to go to the next page, and I'll let you do that. But you can see that the planning really helps. Just taking a quick look at lows to highs gives you an idea that it seems reasonable. 6. If I go from 30 to 90, that's about 6. So I think we'll be good with our plot. It won't be like the previous one with 50 data points that all were within 1 or 2 spaces of each other. So I'm going to go to the next page. I'm going to go down the center here, and I'll just draw this. And I don't like how I did that, so I'm going to do that again. I'm going to make it a little bit wider because, again, I have messy handwriting, and especially on the computer here. So I'm going to go 30s, 40s. I should actually take that out. You don't really put it in there. I'm going to put it in for neatness purposes, but I'm going to do it with those ones there. So in my mind, that's what you should do in your mind, not actually write them in. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Okay? So we've got our 7 bins there. And it's the same as the previous one. You're just going to go back and forth and do it. I'll probably make a key. And so what's the first data point that I have there? So I'm going to go back a screen here. The first data point so we have to decide which side's North Africa and which side's Central Africa. So let's say North Africa. And this will be Central Africa. It doesn't really matter which side I do it on. I'll need to make a key. And the first North African one is 54.6. And again, I'm going to truncate. We've already had the discussion about truncating, but I don't care about these decimals. I really care about here. So when I do this, I'm going to change the color here. Let's do green this time. I'm going to separate right there. And that's going to be 54.6, and it's going to be a stem of 5 and a leaf of 4. Stem of 5 and a leaf of 4. I'm going to write a key down here. I'm going to say 5/4 equals 54.6, so they can see I truncated. And I'm going to, and if you want to call that 5 instead of a 4 because 54.6 rounds up to 55, that's fine. And I'll continue my same pattern, crossing it off, and then I'll go here, and I'll go 34. Remember, everything for North Africa is going to go out this way. And then I'm going to go 48. Okay, so you get the pattern. I'm going to pause it and I'll put a bunch up there so you'll see a whole bunch done just to save time. Okay, so I finished North Africa, and you can see it there. I had to make an adjustment again. If I skip 2 spaces, it seems like I run out of space. I just have to learn to write smaller and a little bit neater. But I get the idea of what's going on here. And then I'm going to do Central Africa in red. I'll do a first couple, and then I'll pause it again to finish it off. Okay, so I'm going to have 5 and 8. So stem of 5, leaf of 8. Stem of 5, leaf of 8. So I'm going to write it in here so to fit it in there. I'm going to finish it off there, and then I'm going to go stem of 3, leaf of 4. And again, remember, I'm truncating. And the last one, then I'm going to pause it. Stem of 3, leaf of 5. I cross it off. Okay, I'm resuming it for the last 3 points on Central Africa. So I want bin of 6, stem of 6. Kind of seeing the pattern here already, which is why we're doing it, is to see the pattern. And it looks like we have them all. So this is a comparative stem and leaf plot, so you can compare them. And if you look at it here, you can definitely see the shapes here. So let's change the pen. Let's change the pen here. Well, yellow's good. So this one is like this. This is your shape. Okay? And then the other one, here's your shape. Okay? So, and if you turn it so that you're counting, this one, you know, it bumps up. It makes sense. You can't get above 100%. So you must have a skew. It's got a skew on there. And you can't have, so it's got, looks like a skew. It's got a skew going that way. Okay, this one looks a little bit more symmetric, a little bit of a skew, but it's a little more symmetric. Okay, and both of them have clearly they're unimodal. You've got this gap in here that that you might want to mention. There's a gap there. This one is quite spread out. It's quite spread out, with numbers way up here in the high 90s and down here in the low 30s. So it's quite more spread out, where they're more centralized around here. Although there is one country down here in the 34 range as well. So there must be something going on with these North African countries that you have so many here in the 90s. Where in Central Africa you have a lot more in the 60s. So anyways, that would be how to graph that one with the comparative one.